Hey everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, doing another unboxing. Nothing fancy going on here. I say, I'm going to switch angles, but I'm probably not going to switch angles. I'm being kind of lazy tonight. I have been wanting this deck for a really long time. This is Caroline Myss, Archetype Cards, an 80 card deck, and produced by HEDONIST. It's been on my wish list like forever. Take it out of the wrapping. And I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger. Like, I've known about it forever, but it just wasn't ready. And then, as I was clearing off my wish list when I was preparing for my depth year, it was one deck that I was like, I'm thinking in 2020 I need that deck, but I don't know why, and I'm just going to wait and see when that will happen. So I kept this of like maybe a few others, maybe like literally 2 or 3 others on my wish list at the time. And I was like, it will come a time I feel like this would be a nice addition to my practice, my tarot practice, or oracle practice, or what have you. So then I was watching, I think it's Mystic Rain, and I will link her. I'm hoping she talked about, Mystic Rain talked about, I was like, oh, am I going to be able to link her video? I hope I find it. She was talking about different decks, and I can't remember, like she was talking about the top oracle decks in her, that she thinks that you should have. I can't remember. But what I will say is that this was one of them. And then it wasn't she wasn't the only person who's mentioned this deck. And so I was like, well, I think it's time, because now I am starting to explore ancestral healing readings, and I am called to look at different archetypes to kind of help me navigate through those different archetypes. It does have a little guidebook, which is nice, but I understand that it also has keywords on it, so I don't know if you even really need the guidebook. But if you want to go deeper, maybe we'll see what the guidebook has to offer. I'm going to just take these out. And they're glossy. They haven't gotten around to changing the... So I thought that some of the decks HEDONIST was like, when they reprint them or get ready to reprint them, that they, zhuzh them up by putting them in a matte stock. But not that matte doesn't come with its challenges. It does. But the glossy is really a pain for when you're doing videos. I'm just going to say. That's all. And sometimes shuffling, although they've gotten better. HEDONIST has gotten better when it comes to gloss and decks, so I'll give them that. But we've had our challenges, especially with gilding and gloss. Oh, the poor decks. So here's the backs. I like the backs. I really do, actually. So let's go through the cards. Attic. And what I love about it is that it has a light attribute and the shadow. And you don't need to do a reversal to look at this. Because really, when you have someone in your life, you take the good with the bad, right? You take the highs and the lows, and for better or for worse. So why does it need to be in a reverse position for us to even be able to see if those shadow aspects are speaking to other things in the reading, in the cards, the other cards on the table? It says attic, light attribute, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. That's a nice light attribute to be in an attic. If you're at that place though, right? What could be another positive attribute to be in an attic? You know how to party? But attic's not a party. Shadow attributes, compromise integrity and honesty. True that. Allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. That's true too. So there you go. I really like that. I'm really digging it, because it's like, okay, yeah, you definitely can have folks. And this I thought would be helpful in love readings, especially those who are like, I'm dating. Like, if there's a few people out here, I'm kind of singling out and seeing if they might be the one. What do you see? These cards could probably help with that. Advocate, light attribute, and then shadow attribute. Advocate, light attribute. Inspire you to put compassion into action. Ooh, I love that. Ooh, I like that. Shadow attribute. embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. I can see that, like lobbyists. I'm not going to read all of the light and shadow, just some of the ones I'm called to. Alchemist. It's 80 cards. Angel. What's the shadow on Angel? Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. True. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Ooh, okay. I like it. Artist. Athlete. Avenger. I like all her archetypes. That's another reason why I was like, I think I'm going to like this one. I'm very picky now, clearly, because I'm in a, what? Beggar. I have a beggar in my new ancestral healing oracle that I created for myself. Bully. Love that. You got to have the bully if you're going to have an archetype deck. And I'm picky now. Aside from being in a depth year and having specific things, this was on my wish list for years, so that's why I was able to purchase it. It met the terms and conditions of my depth year. Child Divine. Oh, I like this. Oh, we're going to go through all the childs. Hold on. So it passed, it cut the muster. I was able to justify buying it. I was like, this is for my tarot reading practice, and it's been on my wish list, and that was the caveats. So I'm going to get it. So I got it. And lately the decks that I've been getting have been right on point. I've been super grateful to have them to add it to my collection. And I've also made a decision that if I'm like in need of something from a deck that I'm not getting, I will consider making my own deck, or even just kind of putting it out there to my friends to make recommendations. Or if they have decks in their collection they want to pass on to me, I'll buy it from them. You know, like if they're like, oh, I think this is what you're looking for and I ain't using it, you can have at it. You know, it's just finding a more organic way of finding my way to the cards, or the cards finding their way to me or being born through me. Child Divine. I like this. Light attributes, innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. Shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Oh, yes. It sucks to be that kid, too. I was that kid at times. Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes, though. I had a sensitive moment where I took the fall for these tough girls. When I was in 4th grade, I ended up staying after class. I forgot what happened. But I ended up staying after class and writing 50 lines on the chalkboard, and I didn't even do anything. I took the fall. I didn't defend myself very well. Child Divine. Child Eternal. So the eternal child. So obviously the shadow attribute would be inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. Yes, the eternal child can be quite annoying. No. Child magical. Love that. Child nature. Gorgeous. Love her child influences. This is going to be perfect with my ancestral healing reading I want to do for myself and others. Child orphan. Child wounded. Yes. Yes. I'm all for the shadow. Companion. Damsel. You know what? Damsel makes me angry. Damsel makes me really angry. That's another video, and oh, God. Destroyer. Yes, give me Destroyer. Detective. Yes. Dilettante. Don Juan. Engineer. Shadow attribute. Reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. And that is right. That is right. I've experienced a couple of engineers who was a little cold. You're like, hello? Bring the human into this. Exorcist. Father. Femme fatale. Fool. You fool. Shadow attributes of the fool. Using humor to wound rather than liberate. Denial of your emotional truth. Okay? Gambler. Yes. Oh, God. Give it to me now. It says shadow attributes. Despotism and cruelty. Using power to control people. Wow. Goddess. What's the goddess shadow? Well, let's first talk about the light. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, sensuality. Shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. And so, you know what's nice is that you guys have all had this. You guys all have this deck. There's some decks that I have in my collection that many people don't have, and then there's some decks that everybody has and I don't have. And so it's nice to kind of be late to the party and just kind of get in here and see what's going on. And this is great. Gossip. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I have to tell you guys a little secret. For my client readings and for my for my client readings, I use a lot of Hay House decks. I'll be honest. It just works out that way. There's some decks that I use that are some of my independents. I'm trying to think. Yeah, mostly mass market. Guide. And it's in terms of Oracle, Hay House, healer. So say what you want to say about Hay House, but I mean, maybe it's the reader and not the cards. But I think it's like the cards and the reader, or the reader and the cards. I don't know. Healer, light attributes, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain and healing into healing. So ability to help transform pain into healing. Shadow attributes, taking advantage of those who need help. Failing to care for oneself. And I would say in doing harm, right? And not being a healer. That's what I would add. But that's what I will add if I was talking and reading. Hedonist. Yes. She's got Hermit. I've heard, some negative things about this deck. Hero, Heroine. And I can see what some people's concerns are, but for the most part, I have a specific idea of how I want to use this deck in my practice, and so, I don't know, I think it's going to work well for me. I think I'm going to get along with it. And I now don't take lightly to decks that come into my house or my collection, Liberator, because I made the decision that my first 6 months of my depth year is, I would say, how do you say this? Low buy depth year. And then the next 6 months will be no buy unless I'm replacing, like something got damaged or worn out I've worn out a few of my decks to high heaven. So I allow for myself to be able to replace those decks. Martyr. And I like shadow attribute, addiction to self-pity. Yeah. So yeah, I said, okay, 6 months, you can do low buy. The next 6 months, you're going to do no buy unless you're doing a actual real replacement. There's no need now. You've gotten everything you need. And even if you didn't, you can wait. And then I'm going to extend my depth year and go into another low buy in 2021 from January to June. And then I may end it or see how I feel at that point. But I don't feel it's long enough for 12 months to go on that journey. After all that I've collected. Mediator. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm loving the keywords. I'm loving the light and shadow attributes. I'm loving that it's it's sparking different ideas for ones that sorry for the bad lighting, that I could add to the messages. Messiah. It's really good. I like it. I actually think this is a good deck. Especially if you, like I said, I think it works for different purposes. I don't think it's just like you bust this out and be able to use it for every single reading, right? Not every reading is going to call for something like this. Midas, Miser. Nice. Monk and Nun. Yeah, Mother. Mystic, shadow attribute, delusional rapport with the divine. I love that. Networker. Great keywords. I just love, it's so important to me sometimes with the keywords, and like, I don't know, it just makes a difference if you're going to have them. Pioneer. If you're going to have them, do it right. Poet. Priest. Prince. Yes. And my next one is prostitute. As you can see, I'm totally into, give it to me. I don't want soft. I want it. No. Queen. Light attributes. And then your shadow attributes. Shadow, become arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Okay. Rebel. Rescuer. Saboteur. Samaritan. Spread. Seeker. I like that. You see that? Sorry for the glare. See, this is dang gloss. Although I feel like they may have, when they reprinted these, like it's a better stock. I'm finding that they're getting better. I am. I'm not just being optimistic. Servant. Shapeshifter. I like this deck. This is actually, I'm glad I got it. It's actually, I didn't even realize that some of the cards and themes I have in my deck, in my ancestral healing. So I think these might even talk well with each other. And if two of the same cards, like slave and slavery, comes up, that can mean like a multitude of things in a reading, right? To have that amplified. Slave. Storyteller. Almost there, guys. Student. Teacher. I'll look at the guidebook in a moment. Thief. Trickster. Vampire. Shadow attributes. Depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. Yes. Are you the vamp? See, this is great. Like using these in relationship readings. How are you showing up, sir, in this reading? How are you showing up, ma'am, in this reading? And then you pull these out and they're like, oh my God, that's so them. Yeah, I know. Victim. Yes, yes, yes. Playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. And yeah, you could think of actual extreme situations like people who have Munchausen syndrome or things like that, where you're like, whoa, you taking victimhood to a whole nother level. Virgin. Visionary. Love that. Love that. And warrior. And then I am aware that they have these additional bonus cards that I will probably not use, but maybe I will find a way to make these like cool little bookmarks for clients when I send little things to them, you know. So there's always a purpose. Here's the guidebook, also a glossy little thing, but cool, you know. It's just, let's see, what does it have? Guidebook to accompany the archetype cards. The 4 archetypes of survival, the child, wounded child, abandoned orphan. She goes into the different childs, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute. So did she start going, oh, determining your archetypes. What is this? Feels like it just dives right into something. Determining your archetypes. A partial listing of archetypes. Self-examination. So she has even additional ones. Even beyond what she, I think, or yeah. Not all of these were in the deck. Interesting. So she has additional ones. Self-examination section. Maybe some spreads, I guess you could do. Here are some sample questions you could ask. I'm not going to go into that. A concise summary of archetypes, some suggestions for using this deck. And then she goes into the meanings, which she adds additional meanings, which is nice. But I think you could get along just fine with your intuition and what you see in the images and what you see with the guides, and then, you know, the keywords, and then what you see with the light and shadow. I mean, you've got a lot right in the cards. I don't know if you would even need the guidebook unless maybe you're doing some shadow work or journaling or such, or maybe your client wants you to do that, who knows. But yeah, let's see, it's a chunky one because it's 80 cards. It's bigger than, you know, their tarot decks even, but I like that. I like that there's 80 of them, because that just really gives you a nice opportunity for a real specific kind of reading. It's like child orphan, feeling like abandoned. Oh, yeah. Child orphan. What's the light attributes to that? Light attributes. Independence based on learning to go it alone. Conquering fear of surviving. Conquering fear of surviving. I can see that. And that really, like, oh, hits home a little bit. Like that. Do you guys all have this deck? Do you have it? Can you let me know what you think about it in the comments below? I'm curious to know, do you have it? Do you still use it? It's been out a long time. Let's see. How long has this been out? 2003. Uh-oh. My, sorry guys. My reminder popped up. Should have been done with the video. 2003, so it's been out a good while. Tell me, what do you think? Have you used this deck? If you have, what purpose have you used it? And yeah, I want to know in the comments below. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and much love, so many blessings. If you like this video, please be sure to like it. Also, if you want more content, let me know by subscribing and leaving a comment below. Love you guys. Take care.